Ipswich Buses, your local bus company serving your football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Get Ipswich Buses today. A single £1.20, a return only £2. Find out more information at www.ipswichbuses.co.uk. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talking Town. Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome back to Talking Town, an FCA 2021 finalist for Best EFL National Podcast. I'm, of course, your host, Martin the Governor Lambert, and I'm incredibly excited to be here with you tonight. And what a lineup and menu I have got for you this evening. Joining me shortly will be two fantastic contributors with huge voices within the ITFC social voice circle that would surely register on the influencer index, should there be one for the Talking Town community. But first, can I just say, as I always do on a Friday, first of all, it's a huge thank you to all of these absolutely wonderful people on the screen, to all the fantastic guys and girls that are our fifth stand TT Ultras. They're now on your screen, or page one is, page two will be with you very shortly. Without them, none of what you see is possible, from the live show, such as this one, last night, every live show, and including the live match day shows you see from outside the stadiums, one of which hopefully will be with you tomorrow live from outside Lincoln's stadium. I think it's the LNR or something like that stadium. So from the bottom of my heart, a huge thank you to every single one of them. And, maybe a little request that if you, like them, get value from what we do, and you're one of the 13,586 YouTube views we've received over the last 7 days, which is just a quite staggering number, then maybe you consider supporting the platform from as little as £5 or £10 a month, which of course would make your shows, about 25p, something like that, which, even Freddo's, I think, cost more these days. So head on over to our Ko-Fi site. Link is in the chat. And contribute if you feel you are able to, and that you get value from us. Right now, what's on the menu tonight? Well, we have our prediction league look ahead of this weekend. Some movers and shakers. We've got the cookie press conference. I asked Rich and Matt, the two contributors with huge voices, what they feel was really being said in the press conferences today. We've got your 11s, the Talking Town Community 11 for tomorrow against Lincoln. So let's bring in one of those giants of the podcasting world. I've got both of them looking at me expectantly. I'm going to go for the man who's been playing the prediction league first, so we can speak just very briefly about that. He is, of course, your hard truth expert. Here, hello. Sorry, that's a bit of a surprise. Yeah. Look at that! Look, so efficient. I didn't even press the button. Welcome in, my man. How you doing?
I'm good. Massive shout out. I've been just before we come on, I was talking to Joe Sheehan, still at the training ground, and he says, with every victory, we work harder. So hopefully, the girls this Sunday, they're playing Keynsham Town at home. I think it's a 2 p.m. kickoff. Looking to make it 7 out of 7. Still no goals conceded. So good luck to the girls.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, they are flying. We could do well to take a leaf out of their book. And maybe that's something I look to try and incorporate into the prediction league, actually. Maybe that takes over the wild card. Actually, that wouldn't be a wild card fixture, because that would be pretty one-sided by the way they play. They are a dominant team, aren't they?
I think it's them and Southampton, Martin, at the minute. I think it's going to be a case of, I reckon, probably the 2 games they play then will probably decide who's going to win the league. I would have thought so far, the way it's going. I think Southampton are top. They've scored a few more goals, but they keep doing this stuff. So I'd expect them to be promoted at the end of the season, 100%.
Absolutely, and that would be fantastic news for them. Obviously, I'd put the TT Ultras up at the start of the show. Some people aren't on it, some people are on it. It's a very fluid index, but your name probably could be up there about 8 times. I was looking the other day.
Why am I bottom of the prediction league? Why have you put me bottom?
Oh, well, I'm glad you've come to that. Actually, let's go to the league table now, because it is a thing of absolute beauty, isn't it? There it is. Richard Moss,
3 points. I could be where Dan Barnard is. I could be right there.
You are technically, aren't you? You're joint with Dan Barnard.
Where is the media mogul? Because I can't see him anywhere.
I don't think he's actually put a prediction in yet, which is shocking from somebody who likes to brag about in the WhatsApp group being one of the big voices of Talking Town, but he can't even pull his finger out to do a prediction. But there we go. That's Matt Phillips all over. But yes,
give a quick shout out. I texted him before the game, before the show, to Martin Swallow. Struggling at the minute, and I text him, just keep fighting. And I'm really hoping that we can put some wins on the board for him. I really hope tomorrow it's a start of, let's get some wins and get a bit of positivity. And also for Cookie, I was driving home earlier from football, Martin, and I know I just want us to all put our arms around him tomorrow, and let's hope the players can just get out there. We're taking 1,800 tomorrow. It's going to be a great atmosphere.
It is. It is, and we'll come to that in just a second. I'll bring the media mogul in first, but first of all, our prediction league this week is on the screen now. Link is in the chat. Lincoln versus Ipswich. Hopefully, everyone will go for an Ipswich Town win, and this will be the week that we are all rewarded, as Rich has just said. Portsmouth, Cambridge, Colchester versus Crawley, and the last one is Norwich versus Watford. I'm not going to mention what I think about Watford and their managerial record and how we should emulate it, but there we go. And the wild card this week is top versus bottom, Claydon versus Leiston St Margaret. My inside guy, well, I haven't got an inside guy. I'm making this completely up now with this next sentence, but I'd go for Claydon to win. Probably 2-0. It'll probably be a Leiston St Margaret's 3-0 win then, that said. But there we go. Links.
They win. Links
in the chat. But get involved if you want to win some prizes, and there are prizes to be won. All you've got to do is enter our free prediction league game. It is free to enter. It takes 60 seconds and you can get a lot done in 60 seconds. Believe me, I'm a man that says that quite often. And here comes another man that probably says it quite often.
It's absolutely embarrassing. We've just lost to teenagers.
Here he is. Oh, here he is, Matt Phillips. There he is. I found the clip for you, Matt. I'm going to play it one more time because it's so good. It deserves it's a second view.
It's absolutely embarrassing. We've just lost to teenagers.
So good. So good.
Repeat,
they do say things going around in a circle. Now, normally that circle is you hope to be quite big. Yeah. But with Ipswich Town, it's an ever decreasing circle.
So annoying. How are we all? How you doing?
Very well, thank you, Matthew. I know you're drinking one of our podcast partners' beers this evening, so let's get let's get some good plugs in there for away days. What you got?
Gone with that one. Look, Star Spangled Tractor.
The beat tonight. Thought that was rather apt.
I sadly can't drink, so I have the Queen's tap water. Because I can't, but I wish I could. Both your drinks look rather delicious. I used to work with Martin. Good grief!
Did Matt say I think I sounded Irish in that clip? That's what he's saying.
Yes. Well, that's what happens after several Pinot Grigios, Merlots, as it. I remember you come up. Go on.
Let me tell you, I started this week hungover. You might remember on the Monday show, and then this evening I've got a bit of a sore throat. Sandwiched in between all of that, mega grumpiness about Ipswich Town.
Well, one thing that maybe will make you less grumpy about Ipswich Town is our friends at awaydaybeers.com. Traveling tomorrow, you can click and collect from the brewery. It's just 15 minutes away from the A1 junction at Newark. Use the code Lincoln Away Days when checking out on awaydaybeers.com on ITFC Legends packs or Fantasy Fridge packs. I may go. You may need to get your credit card out, son, because I will probably send you in for a couple of packs on the way.
On the Freddie Sears tomorrow, he tells me.
Well, this is it, right? He's on the Freddie Sears, be it Muggins here, because I can't drink, is driving. So I think it's only right I send him in for a couple of the old away day.
So Rich is driving separately and the Goat and Martin are together in the car. Is this correct?
Yes.
I'm working. I've got a busy day tomorrow. So I'll be up for work. I'll be work at 4, Matt.
Not like you.
Then finish, straight to Lincoln. Then literally I'm back home 10 minutes and then I've got our work summer party. So I'm going to be knackered. And I'm hoping it's going to be worth it tomorrow.
No.
Andrew, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you very, very much. That was there, Colin.
What's a super sticker? What's a super sticker?
Yeah, I wondered that. What is a super sticker? Yeah, I wondered that.
You two are just like the best because you asked such great questions that I don't know the answer to. Because when YouTube send,
don't be rude.
When YouTube sent, it is a busy day driving a tractor around an oval. He's right though, isn't he?
Hang on, and I'm driving a straight line as well, so I'll have you know. Anyway, this is the man. This is the man here on the screen, Paul Bird, who every time we lose, if we don't win for 3 games, he goes and buys a new pair of trainers.
Oh right, yeah.
I said to him, at the end of the season, you're going to have about 30 pairs.
How old is? Do you mind me asking? Do you know how old Paul Bird is?
Budge, he's in his 50s.
He must have more shoes than Clark's. Good.
I wanted to say a quick thank you to everyone who's clubbed together to get Martin to the FCAs. Absolutely fantastic. Really good. Thank you very much, everybody.
You like to embarrass me. I've just stopped blushing after reading it yesterday before I went live.
You make sure you bring that trophy back with you.
Look, if it's going to Suffolk and it's not me that's winning it, I'll be nicking it. So it'll be coming back to Talking Town Towers one way or another. I'll be getting the KOA boys a little bit drunk, and then I'll be slipping the award away. Absolutely. But awaydaybeers.com's link is in the chat. Head there if you are going to Lincoln. Click and collect. Absolutely bish bash bosh. Before we come to Cookie's press conference, the bit where I have surveyed across the websites this evening to find the bits that are, I believe, noteworthy and discussion points to save you going through the websites. We are currently on 92 viewers across all platforms. How many likes on Facebook and how many likes on YouTube do we want? Facebook, and Matt, you can give the likes on YouTube target. So all you got to do, guys and girls at home, is hit the like button on whatever platform you're watching on. That's all you got to do. Nice and easy. Crunch.
I think the majority watch on YouTube, don't they?
They do. Yeah, fair to say.
Facebook, I will go for 20 likes.
20 likes. Okay, that's a nice little number. I feel like Bruce Forsyth all of a sudden. Matt, you got 20. Do you want to go higher or lower than 20?
I'm going to go. Because we know a lot of people are going to watch this on YouTube. Give us 200 likes on YouTube. Just press the button. It's easy. Whilst you're watching this, do it now. Yeah. Because this would do 1,000 plus, wouldn't it? On YouTube, easy.
Yes, absolutely. It should, hopefully, touch wood. Touch wood. It should.
Unless you have to take it down.
Well, no, I shouldn't do. Stephen Pay, Colin Gover's going to need a frock. I certainly am, yes. Lewis Robertson, Sant Maxmine, great finish. Matt Stannard, only if you ask in the Irish accent.
Apparently me and Matt are the ugly sisters.
Yeah, I heard this. Yeah. That was Lee Anderson coined us that, I think. Yeah. We'll take it.
He's good. He's good, is old Lee. He's good at that. Right. 32 likes so far, says Alex Wilson. So, not doing too bad. So if you are watching, hit the like button. Callie, Matt channeling his inner Arnie. Do it now.
Yeah, the comparison we've got, let me tell you.
Right, Cookie. He was asked today about the assistant situation, and many fans have been calling for this and speaking about it across social media, podcasts, etc. And on here, yeah. So he said, so when Ipswich Town aren't doing so well, that will be a natural process. Mark Ashton, our CEO, our board, give me every encouragement. Our chairman, Michael O'Leary, to look at every aspect of what we're doing and how we can make it better. So just for our supporters, we look at the club in the same light and we think, have we got enough? If you look back, for example, at Macaulay Bond's miss at Cheltenham, and I can speak about Macaulay, was that due to my assistant manager not being in the dugout? I don't really think so. If you look at Lee Evans standing on the ball against whoever it was at home and giving the ball away, again, assistant manager. So Is Cookie along? Thank you very much, David, for the super sticker, £5. Absolutely love this, guys. Appreciate this. But is Cookie right? Is his assistant manager that sort of red herring, if you like? It's an excuse, but it's not an excuse as to why we've not done well, Matt.
Yeah. Well, what he's saying there, well, he's like attributing mistakes to the slow start, isn't he? He has made a lot of mistakes, but I don't know. He's had an assistant manager at other clubs. For whatever reason, he's not. Well, I mean, we know reason why. He probably did want Liam Richardson with him, and he decided to go down a different path and be the Wigan manager. And fair play to him.
Wasn't just Liam though, was it? I believe. I think I've read on one of the websites today, and it escapes me who. Sort of Noel Hunt was mentioned, and then decided
he was,
not to be. So it wasn't just the one sort of target that opted for one reason or another not to come. Yeah. But is he right in what he says, Rich? Actually,
well, I was talking to Colin today, and I remember back in, you might remember this, Matt, it was Burley's, the season when we signed Matt Holland, and I think October time, we were third bottom. And I think he got in, it was either John Gorman or it was Brian Hamilton. Do you remember?
Yeah,
he came in.
I think it was Brian Hamilton, wasn't it?
Yeah, he came in as his assistant, and then they went on a run of about, I think we went 20 odd unbeaten, didn't we?
Yeah.
And flew up that table. It's a weird one with Cookie because obviously Richardson's his right-hand man. You know, he's within Chesterfield, Portsmouth, Wigan, and he couldn't have him. Now, they always, like Mick and Terry go together. You know, it's that number two who he's got to really trust, hasn't he? And it's not just going to be anyone. I've heard people saying the owners have got to step in and tell him he needs an assistant. This is on Cook. If he wants an assistant, he'll do it. He won't be told that he needs an assistant by Ashton, anyone, will he? And it was interesting. He went for it. I've seen. I know Tuck said last night John McGrew won't come here, but he's been at some games I see watching. I don't know. I think he needs. I know you, Martin, don't think he does need a hand. I think he does. If you listen to the fisherman, you know what he calls Jeffers and Roberts, Poundland coaches. So I think he needs a hand. I personally think he needs a hand. I really do. Like now, with what he's going through, we spoke about it earlier, didn't we, on the WhatsApp group? Who are you going to give the reins to? Roberts and Jeffers?
Yeah. Actually,
no one there, has it, this time to take that weight off him? Because look, this is a horrible time he's going through, and he's got no one to turn to. He's got coaching staff, but I don't know.
Just take a moment for David, who's winning at life, because his Talking Town sweatshirt arrived today. David, we want to see some photos of you with the sweatshirt, and let us know how warm it is, because mine is just really warm.
Last Saturday, you were at the game and you had your hoodie on, and it was about 23 degrees. You must have been absolutely frying.
No, well, I've got this thing about where I don't really sweat.
Do you wear anything under it? Wear anything under it, or are you just going with your hoodie on?
This time, no, darling. No, this time, no. I find the sweatshirt, though, looks a little bit less tight.
Nick saying Stuart Houston was one of the assistants.
Houston was another one, he was there.
Yeah.
Obviously, Dale Roberts, he had as well, didn't he?
If Cook feels like he doesn't need an assistant, fair enough. But the decisions he makes is going to be make or break for him.
I'll ask, okay, McGraw's been at games. We know McGrill and Cookie are friends. Football is one of those worlds where you pick up the phone, you talk constantly. Just because he hasn't got an assistant, is it too much of a stretch to maybe think John McGrill maybe isn't, in the WhatsApp group with Cookie or on the phone saying, look, I've seen a couple of things at games, or he's not on the phone to Liam and saying, Liam, and having a chat about life, wife, kids, shopping, football comes around, and then you talk about things as friends. Because when you work together in such close quarters for a long time, you're going to be friends. So just because he hasn't got that number two, is it a stretch to say that he isn't getting that counsel, just not on a match day situation?
Why wouldn't John McGrill want to come here as a coach anyway?
He wants to be a number one, doesn't he?
Bloody hell. What are you going to take? Manager of Tranmere or coach at Ipswich Town? Assistant at Ipswich Town? Come on. It's chalk and cheese.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
There's a tracksuit top I see there we need.
Yes, it was. I agree completely. From Sarah Davis, we need a zip-up track stop. I completely agree. Sega Zombie. If no number 2, then we need experienced coach with a proven track record of defensive coach, top of the list. Calliart, have I ever been to Pizza Express? No, I'm more of a Prezzo guy. I've got to be honest. I find the pizzas at Prezzo just a little bit better.
If McGrill came to town, right, and we got promoted and we go through the Championship, we get to the Premier League in 3-4 years, whatever it might be, you're then suddenly part of a Premier League setup, aren't you? You ain't going to get that managing bleeding Swindon or wherever it might be.
Well,
huh?
Yeah.
Or part of the top flight.
Or you hang on a little bit longer and you might be given the number 1 as a temporary basis.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting about Manning at MK. I said to you, Gov, you had him as relegation, didn't you, when he got appointed? I think that's a really interesting appointment for them. And obviously they got who you really rate, David Wright.
Yeah, why do you rate him? On what evidence are you rating David Wright? I don't get it.
Because he's
him in the WhatsApp, don't you? David Wright this, David Wright that.
I've been talking about David Wright since as far back as that radio show we did with Rich and Joe and Graham.
Yes.
His record at Norwich and the conveyor belt of talent that have come through there under his tutelage is just phenomenal. Phenomenal. If you look at the players that have come through under, because he was under 18s, then under 23s. No, but I'm always wanting to, for the last couple of years, certainly been wanting to go to this more progressive head coach, data-driven recruitment. Yeah. And right now,
breakfast on holiday though.
No, full English with black pudding and white pudding if I could as well. But I love a bit of. But that's I think now on that Andy Rolls, Mark Ashton, a head coach would just fit this now because
is that just not a manager under a different name though?
No, it's really not. I don't believe so anyway. But we'll move on to the press conference and we'll come back to that maybe on a Sunday. Because he was quizzed on different formations stroke setups, which is a bit tied in with the number 2, obviously. But before I do deliver this, I just wish, obviously I'm not there at these press conferences, so I don't know how they flow and whatnot, but I really wish there was a follow-up to this sort of question because what they've asked him is about the setup of the side, when in my opinion it's more the in-game changes that an assistant might give you than it is how we set up.
I said that to Mike this morning. I was on the phone to him and I said 4-2-3-1 how we set up, that doesn't concern me. It's what we do in the game that worries me, and he doesn't change it, does he?
Yep, absolutely. The game within the game.
He changed it when it was 5-2 and he brought another midfielder on when he should have done it when it was half time. Yeah, that's putting the house out when it's already smouldering ashes. It's just too late. You're already buried. But he said, question when they might consider using a different setup. He said, I think when you speak with managers and coaches, I think when you sit down, you reflect on a game and you reflect on a game. This question I always ask myself: has the formation cost us the result? I think that's a very fair question. So if you look at Burton Albion and the games we've played, Morecambe at home, all the games we've played, has our formation cost us the result? Not a chance. Absolutely not a chance. Are there other elements to what we're doing costing us games? 100%. What are we working hard to do? Be better at what we're not good at. So, sort of a multi-layered answer there, which is why I wish the follow-up would have been, okay, what about your in-game changes? But it wasn't. So, Matt, is it what he says? It's our individual errors, like Lee Evans stepping on the ball, or is it for you the way we're setting ourselves up that is costing us?
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with what he's saying now. I feel like individual errors have cost us. Because he knows how to play 4-2-3-1. He's played it all his managerial career, for Christ's sake. So he knows the pieces, the moving pieces, the strengths of that system, what the weaknesses of that system is. In game, what that could maybe change to be, I don't know, 3-5-2, 3-4-3, whatever it might go to. But yeah, I agree with him. There has been a lot of errors. And we've said on this show before, I think we might have said it last week, with Rob D. Whenever any managers here, McCarthy, Paul Gill, whoever it might be, Roy Keane, we've got to keep cutting out these individual errors. We've heard it from all managers. It doesn't matter what year it is.
And he did say, we went to the forum. We went to the forum, didn't we, Martin? And he said, home games, we might have to play another striker. He said that. And he's not done it so far.
He said different ways of playing.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
We will have to expect teams to come here, sit in, and we have to have a different way of playing that will counter.
I don't think any of the teams we've seen so far at Portman Road have really come and sat in, have they? Because they know probably we're at our most vulnerable when we're attacking. Yeah, because look at the fullbacks. They go bombing on. They leave the space in behind, and teams have exploited. Look at Bolton on Saturday. You know, that guy, the guy, what was it, Affolai, the guy on the left-hand side. That third goal, you see that, Matt, when you watched it again. How much space did he have?
Yeah.
Too much.
They were schoolboy errors, weren't they? On goals, crazy. They were crazy.
If you look at every goal that's conceded, there's always there is a mistake somewhere in the line. But we've made some, like Wolfenden against Morecambe, Evans standing on the ball, and I do agree with Cook when he says about like he can't do nothing about like Bond missing that one at Cheltenham.
Yeah,
but he still does need. The only time really, guys, he's changed it is when he's brought on Carroll twice. He brought him on in the NK game at home in a 3.
Too late though.
Yeah, but he's never. It'll be interesting tomorrow to see what he does with Evans and Harper because they've played every game so far.
Harper needs to be on the bench tomorrow. He just drifts too much. Chris told us this would happen, didn't he? That's why they sold it.
That game on Saturday, Matt, I see times he was just sort of wandering around and I'm thinking, where are you supposed to be?
Yeah, a little spell on the bench wouldn't do him any harm, I don't think.
4-2-3-1 is quite a popular formation these days, Rich. Is it the fact that actually, because it's quite popular, there's lots of evidence now out there on how to beat it? So again, it comes back down to this. It isn't the 4-2-3-1 as Matt's saying, and rightly so. It's not how we set up. It's actually how we adapt. Like Affolai in that game had the freedom of Portman Road. Where was the tactical switch that maybe, it brought Wes Burns back as that extra cover? He didn't cross the halfway line, but that's because you were trying to neutralise them and their threat. Like we never seem to counter punch. We get punched quite a bit at the moment. Never seem to counter punch back.
Yeah, fat lip all the time, haven't we?
You know,
they knew, didn't they? Bolton knew to attack Kane. They'd obviously scouted that game, the games previous, and knew that for whatever reason he had lost a yard of pace. He's been injured for 2 years, wherever it might be. But then when Wes Burns had the ball and he attacked Liam Gordon, it was exactly the same. But in the second half, we never ever saw that, did we? We never ever saw that.
The game got killed. The game got killed, Matt, with the 2 goals that Bolton scored within 10 minutes of that second half. The killer is scoring.
The killer's scoring right on the break, isn't it? Because only your managerial halftime chat has changed.
But there you go. That does show you how small the margin is because Boy has the chance at the other end. He can't sort his feet out. They've literally gone straight down the other end from the goal kick. I think a couple of touches, gone wide, and it was a good finish, but it's still a real poor goal. That's like tomorrow. The 2 fullbacks tomorrow, it wouldn't bother me if they didn't cross the halfway line. Do your defensive job first. You've got enough attacking talent in this squad going forward. Vincent Young, I don't know about you two, but he wouldn't make my lineup tomorrow.
No, well, saying that then you'd have to have Donassi as right back, and probably that's
definitely.
It's a good shout. That.
Yeah, talk about that moth again. Sorry, he's back. He's returned. The revenge of the moth.
Have you got the window open or something?
In fact, mate, you would as well in this house. It's boiling. You talk about individual errors and fine margins, but I'm going to bring you into something else here, Matt. We're in England's 3rd tier. You are always individual player errors, even on a day where everything goes right. So when it comes down to small margins, is it again? We come back to what we were saying in the press conference about the formation. Is it where Paul Lambert had a famous saying? It's not players that make systems. No, it's not systems that make players. It's players that make systems. Is he being too blinkered, too narrow-minded with this? It's got to be 4-2-3-1. That's me. That's me. That's me.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. He's played it all his managerial career, hasn't he? I would like to, given the abundance of attacking options, I would like to see 2 strikers, and that would probably be my preference. But for whatever reason, he likes 4-2-3-1. But I don't really see the value of keeping Piggott or Bon, whoever, or even Norwood, on the bench. You might as well just start with 2 strikers. Is my thought on it. I'd go
Piggott can't play that one. Piggott, from what I've seen so far, Piggott is not. He's got to play in a 2, isn't he? I think.
I'd have 3. Yeah, exactly. I would personally have 3-5-2 in my way forward, and then you've got Coulson.
I'd go Bon and Norwood.
Whoever. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll come to the 11s in a short while. But another question I'll pose to you both, based on the fact of the press conference, is: are we sort of reaping the not rewards, whatever the opposite of reward is, in the fact we've brought 19 players in, because he then goes on to say, cook on team's true colours. It's the same at the minute. The opposition is not our enemy. We are our own enemy at the minute. And until we can become a strong team together, then you will not see our true colours. We are entering nearly October, and we're not seeing our true colours. It's not his saying, it's my saying now. Not seeing our true colours, and we're not got our identity. Is this the downside of the 19 transfer window, Matt?
Yeah. Well, Mick Mills said that on the BBC Suffolk at the end of last season. He said if he does become the demolition man, he does get rid of all the current squad, which he did do, and bring in the new faces. It is really hard to integrate them into a system, a culture, a club before the start of the season. You haven't got very long to do so. And we saw, you sent me the link in the week, didn't you, Rich, of Darren McAntony saying exactly the same thing. That is a big turnaround of players. Unfortunately, we are a fickle fan base. We've got carried away with the new ownership coming in and Mark Ashton coming in. And, all these things we've been starved of across the Evans era. And now it's come through. You've got people talking to the media. You've got signings going on. 3 signings on the deadline day. We've all got carried away. But, at the same time, they've got to integrate these players in. And it's frustrating. But Steve Parry said to us on Monday, we're going to have to take the pain until they get over the line with it.
So is it a leadership issue for you then, Matt, in the sense of that it's okay saying patience, but actually let's be honest and real with our fans and say what our actual expectation is this year. We're all football men. We know it's going to take a long time for this culture and development. So really, realistically, we expect to finish somewhere between, I'm pulling this out on my backside now, 12th and 11th. Anything above that is brilliant. Is that more of the statement you're now saying you would like to have heard and seen instead of this patience? Because what is patience? Patience is
no. I mean, that takes us back to what Ben said last night. He got sold into the vision to make him buy a season ticket, right? And I get that because it sounds like all your prayers are answered, doesn't it? You spent your 400 quid, whatever. You bought yourself a season ticket, and now it's not delivering what you wanted.
That's football. There's no guarantees in football. There's
no guarantees. Me and Rich have been going since the early to mid 80s. There's no guarantees at Ipswich. We know it. But at the same time, there's still 40 games to go. There's a lot of points to get. It is the third tier of English football, as you said earlier, Martin. There's not great teams in this. I do feel like once we get clicking, we will get clicking. I just hope it's under Cookie. I'm desperate for Cookie to do well here because we've been big advocates of him.
Trying to work out today, I was speaking to Colin, guys, about... I think the top 2, it's a real reach now. You look at Sunderland, guys, they're 12 points? And I know it is only 6 games, but the way we're going at the minute, we're going to be probably 15, 16 points behind them until when we get the engine running. So I was looking at, your 6th place. I'm not sure what the 6th place team got last year, Martin. What did they get? Probably, I'm saying like 76, 77 points.
I mean, it's less than that, to be honest. I think it's normally around about 72, isn't it, I think?
But if you think you've got 40 games, you've got 120 points to play for, you're probably going to need, I said to Colin, probably about 22, 23 wins. Yeah. You could probably afford, you see teams last season who 74 were getting in the playoffs. How many points?
74.
How many games did they lose, Martin?
It was Oxford and they lost 16.
There you go. You could probably lose 15, 16 games. If you don't draw many games and you win a lot of them, you still got. That's what they did.
They won 22, drew 8, and lost 16.
They were another team, weren't they, who were struggling at the start of the season. Oxford were down there, and I know people say your Oxfords, your Blackpools, and then you got Bolton in League Two, but it doesn't always work out like that. You do have to.
Like slow every season, Rich, don't they? They've started the last 2 seasons and come through. They're doing exactly what we're doing now, except they haven't had the turnover of players. They haven't spent the same money as us. They're not spending the same money on wages as us. It's given us the ump.
But he did say, Cookie, didn't he? I think he said something today about if you'd have won the first 6 games, you hadn't won the league. Because look at us, the last 2 seasons, how we started.
We've got Stephen Parry. It's rare anyone gets 100 points. Colin Plum. Me and Rich have to work before we go to the game. First team. How would you like to do that, Mark?
He's right what he says there because look, I just hope tomorrow we're taking 1,800. We're selling out. Cambridge is sold out. You've got great numbers. They're going to get great support tomorrow. Let's hope that the players just find a little bit extra in. Wes Burns has come out and he says we can still win the league. So that's a big statement.
It's a big statement. Yeah.
But
I've got 10 orders to win in the league. 110 quid it brings back. Did that in June.
We're 24-1 now to win the league, Matt.
It's just like on now, shouldn't I?
No.
There's still loads of time, but we've got to put runs together. We have to we've got to get, a couple of away wins, a couple of home wins, 4 wins.
Back-to-back wins that we really need now.
Yeah.
If we win tomorrow, then lose against Sheffield Wednesday, you've undone your work. So you need back-to-back, 2 or 3 wins on the trot. It could look a lot different, but it's getting that first win, isn't it?
However that might be, even if it's not a goal, just get the win. Just get them 3 points on the board. That's all we need. That's all we need.
This is our blip. Those teams will blip. That's regards to the teams you mentioned earlier there. Chris
When you look
Boyd.
at Sunderland, Martin, going on about the 19 signings we have, Sunderland have really slimmed their squad down, Their fans, they were getting a little bit concerned. When we were signing all these players, they were having a whine on social media. They've started really well, haven't they?
We got a bad manager them as well. What's he ever done, Lee Johnson? He was a bit of a laughing stock at one point at Bristol City. They called him David Brent. We've got a much better manager than them. Much better.
Chris Boyd, the players should do a bit of extra for their boss with what he's going through. Stephen Parry, that's bar Bolton. The performance has been better. That's more important, and we can score. That's half the job. AS Spaghetti, we're 11-2 to get promoted. I've taken that. Possibly. Who's the first choice goalkeeper? Says Graham Tate. It's Christian Walton still, isn't it, boys?
I feel sorry. I feel sorry for him. I feel like he should have played on against West Ham because that's like a bit shit, innit? You've let him 5 goals in his debut. Sit down. He'd wanted to gone straight back out on the pitch Sunday, I would imagine, to try and reverse that. I feel sorry for him a little bit. And Holy was no great shakes, was he? He dropped that one over the line for starters.
Obviously, tomorrow we will see the return of, I believe we will, the return of Edward Bishop, Teddy Bishop.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of comments from Teddy included in this. We've got him coming out and saying the new manager came in, and after a few weeks after that, it was quite apparent to me that I needed a new start because I didn't really fit into his plans. I knew a couple of months before the end of the season, really. Cook himself said in the interview, sorry, no, this is Bishop still. I've absolutely loved it. He gives me the freedom to go and play how I want to play with no restrictions on Appleton. He knows I can run with the ball, but there's a structure too. It's not like go and do whatever you want. But he wants me to play off the cuff, be inventive and creative. It's perfect for me. So Bishop, fresh start. Was it a needed fresh start, as some are saying? Did Cookie try and implement me in the right way? What are we saying about Edward Bishop?
There you go. He's down tools. In that statement, he says to me, he knew he was leaving, and he wasn't the only one. So
let me just read that again. The new manager, Cook, came in, and after a few weeks, it was quite apparent to me that I needed a new start because I didn't really fit into his plans. I knew a couple of months before the end of the season, really. Yeah.
I wonder why he didn't fit into his plans. He's never done anything for Ipswich, Teddy Bishop. Do you know what I mean? It's just annoying. He did 60-odd appearances in 5-6 years?
He did one good game against Borough.
Nothing to Ipswich. I hope he goes on and does all right with Lincoln. He's obviously enjoying life there. He didn't do anything for us. So, see you later. That's how I see it. If you're not contributing to the team, not scoring goals, you're not available to play. And what do you always say, Martin? Your best availability.
Best ability is availability, yeah.
Availability. Let's see how long. Let's see if he can.
Probably last season, Matt, that he actually probably played his most amount of games, wasn't it? He went on that run early, didn't he? Did he score 4 goals early on? First 4 or 5 games?
There's only one person who's benefited from Teddy Bishop being at Ipswich. It's Teddy Bishop. It certainly ain't the club, and it certainly ain't the supporters.
I want to read.
Number one.
I just want to read you what Rob the Don Davies wrote when he saw a couple of these Bishop things. You'd seldom see him on the pitch, but could see him on Instagram celebrating. Then blocking out the noise in the silent stadium. He knows all about respect. Ciao, adios.
He's benefited greatly from Ipswich. We've not benefited from him, so there you go. See you later.
Yeah. Are you worried about planning tomorrow, Rich?
He'll probably score, won't he? Just one of them things.
Really?
I think he's got talent, but he needed to. He wasn't the only one. He needed to go. He needed to move on.
Yeah.
Like Matt said, get out of that comfort zone that so many of them academy kids,
They've had it easy. They've had it 5-star for too long.
Definitely.
You would sometimes wonder if he'll bite you on the arse and they'll come back and score against us. How many goals has he actually scored? 5, 6, maybe in 6 years. It's unlikely, I think, but we'll see.
Come with a big fanfare, didn't he? He was good in the playoff season. Then we didn't see him for about 4 years because he was always injured. I'm like Matt. I've got no ill towards him. I hope he has a good career, but I hope he has an absolute stinker tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Teddy Bishop. Yeah, one good game against Borough, from what I can. That's the only game I remember him actually playing really well. And
Bournemouth, the 2-2 at Bournemouth, he scored, didn't
Blackpool.
Blackpool. Yeah,
Other
we
men-
played on the right. Then he played right wing that day, didn't he?
Pretty
Just do it when he
much
got that
so.
ball and he could drive when in them drive at the, but we didn't see it. Didn't see it.
Ain't much to talk about, is it? Over 6 years, whatever it was.
Not
I
really.
guess the really difficult thing is that individually you've replaced with better, but as a team, currently, Raheem Harper and Lee Evans, is that a better partnership than Flynn Dowds and Teddy Bishop currently? Currently.
Well, that's not pulling up any tree. Neither of those partnerships have pulled up trees. Do you know what I mean?
True.
For whatever reason, Evans and Harper started quite brightly and have faded off. I think that's probably more Harper than it is maybe Evans. Now, Evans and Morsey, when Morsey's back available, that might be a partnership that's already blossomed at Wigan. So let's see what happens when they pull on the Ipswich shirt together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So partnership there, isn't there? It's not new.
That's who we might see. Another player we might see tomorrow is Burson Selena. Paul Cook had this to say on Selena. Again, guys, I can't go through debating every player. Whilst I appreciate more than anyone the fans and the optimism around Burson being available, I understand the question. At the minute, it's probably difficult to give you the correct answer. We're probably waiting on a little bit of red tape, if the truth be known. If the red tape goes well, the reality is Burson will be on the pitch tomorrow. Matt, I hear you laugh there. What are you thinking?
I've got to think that's international clearance. He doesn't have international clearance. That can be the only red tape that's blocking him from playing. The international clearance doesn't come through. I personally wouldn't play him tomorrow. I'd have him on the bench as an impact player. Because knowing our fan base, he'll start in that 10 role. He's had COVID. He's had that heart illness. He's only just been cleared. If he doesn't do very well in the first 45, everyone's going, get him back to France.
Nah, disagree. This is where Cookie's struggling. He hasn't got the credit in the bank from last year, which is why he's struggling now. Burson has still got credit in the bank. He can have one bad 45. He can have two bad 45s. He's got credit in the bank from
scores from anywhere as well.
Yeah.
I personally bring him on as an impact player tomorrow. What about you, Rich? Would you have him off the bench half hour today?
Yeah, he wouldn't play. He wouldn't play tomorrow. He wouldn't start.
Yeah.
Great song as well. I'm looking forward to singing the song tomorrow. The Tequila song.
Yeah.
But I tweeted earlier. I'm having a few messages with Stephen Parry. Stephen are playing on the right. I said he doesn't play on the right. He's either off the left or he's in the 10, isn't he? And then he said we could play Kyle Edwards on the right. But I think Chris said they played him there a couple of times at West Brom and he didn't work, did it?
He's played multiple positions since he left us on loan. He played CDM for, I think, Swansea and Dijon.
I wouldn't rule out right wing. I wouldn't rule it out.
No, I wouldn't rule it out either, no.
I think that's an interesting dynamic.
But would you?
One of the areas that we're quite strong in at the minute. I think Burns has done really well.
He was my man. He's probably my man of the match last week. Every time he's crossed the ball, he's good.
KVY sits on the bench. Wes Burns plays at right back, which he can do.
Is that a waste though? Is that a waste of Burns?
No, I want him going forward.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you ain't seen much defending from the right back, whoever's been playing there apart from Jermaine Delassina anyway. I mean, they're not there to defend under the system.
Keep it tight, like Rich said, actually as a solid right back and get the ball to whoever's on that right wing. Be Selena, fair play.
No,
do himself.
No. You're one dimensioning yourself with the National. Like, he's so bad going forward that teams haven't got to worry.
It doesn't matter. I just want to be stronger defensively. At the minute, we got fullbacks flying forward, leaving spaces everywhere. The two midfielders are not filling them gaps in. Just sit in there. Play.
But again, this comes back down to formation, doesn't it? Why make yourself so one-dimensional down the one side when you can just play a 3-5-2, have your bombing fullbacks, but then still be solid Like, you have to realise without Sam Morsey, and this is me talking to Paul Cook now, without Sam Morsey, you've got no holding midfield player, so you need to either change tactics and adapt until Morsey's available to shore up that back line, or you need to play Donatian at right back. And teams like Lincoln will not fear Donatian playing at right back. They're not going to say, "Oh, make sure he's accounted for" when he crosses the halfway line, because, come on.
Well, they lost their best player last season, didn't they, to Peterborough, George Grant? You know, but it annoys me that Ipswich should go into these places, these little clubs that were non-league like 4 years ago. And we're going, oh God, hope we can get a point out of it. It just shows
That's
you.
What I said to Colin today. We're going there. Why? We're fearing going there in a minute, aren't we? You've got to pay your respect to Lincoln, but you think, come on, we need to be winning at places like this.
Comes back to mindset, and we said this on one of our very first shows. We've got to go with the mindset that we are number one,
I agree with Lee there. I agree with Lee there. Selena and Edwards don't both play in a 3-5-2.
But who says Selena's even playing tomorrow? According to
Paul play even a 3-5-2. You could put. I would like Selena in that 10 role. If he's in the hole there a little bit, and we know he can score from a distance, get him anywhere around the box.
That's another role. That's another. We've had Fraser play there, Chaplin play there. That's another problem position at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not quite right, mate, is it?
Is he fit tomorrow, Fraser?
Yeah, I'd have him in this. I'd have him in the team if he is tomorrow.
Paul Cook is very guarded on those injuries.
Too much of a passenger for me at the minute, Matt.
From what I could read through, Edwards and Fraser, who have both had knocks the week before or precautionary were withheld, are both in contention. So from what I could, when I skimmed through, Chris Boyd, if PC is going to base him around Morsey, he's got tomorrow and Wednesday to use to decide how he builds the back line and move around him, ready for the relegation 6-pointer versus Donny. Colin, I'm not rich. It's hardly effing St. Eddie's, 4th Division Lincoln.
We could really have done with Morsey for Sheffield Wednesday, couldn't we? That's the kind of game that would have been great for his debut. Get stuck in terms of league debut. Get stuck. I see he got books against West Ham, didn't he?
Yeah, standard yellow card.
Standard, yeah.
Someone like Moores.
This is why I'm a bit of an advocate of maybe getting Nolan involved. We just need some kind of grit in there.
We'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that.
Someone who can score from midfield. Nolan can score from midfield. He's proved it already.
We'll get to that in a second. We truly will. Very quickly, I just want to talk about what you'd say to Paul Cook in the dressing room tomorrow, all the lads before the game, because I wrote my article this week for Suffolk News. As you know.
Very good.
Thank you very much. Links in the chat. For those that want to read it, I finished off for saying, so as we enter this weekend against a solid Lincoln side with excuses and belief in short supply. Message this week from me is a simple one: win. Leave it all on the field, but just win. Find a way to win, kickstart our story, and kickstart our season. That's what I would say to those players tomorrow. Don't get how you do it.
Got some breaking news for you.
What is that then?
Derby County are set to enter administration.
Well, that was about as obvious as...
Yeah, but this is wrong. This is changing the tack a little bit. They should have been relegated last season. Wrong.
Yeah, sure.
I was reading, Matt, that they were agreeing a points deduction. Yeah, agreeing? Excuse me?
Don't feel sorry for Derby. They've been run terribly. They sold I still call it Pride Park. They sold Pride Park back to themselves to get around financial fair play. We're talking about cooking books.
Yeah, well, the only
not the network.
The only thing everyone will agree on is perhaps how poorly the EFL have handled that situation.
Yeah. What was that a surprise?
Well, no, it isn't. It isn't really. But what would you say? As I've said there, win, leave it all on the field. Don't care if you kick, scream, claw. Just find a way to win. What would you say if you were the manager tomorrow to those 11 players at 1 minute to 3, Matt? Yeah.
I would play them what Colin said on Monday night. Win it for Cookie. He's going through hell right now. Show that guy that you want to be at this club. They've took a chance on you. They've brought you in. Make it happen. Come on. Make it Tuesday night. 2 pedestrian against children. Did some stats. Looked it up. So it was an 18-man squad, that West Ham one. 8 of those were 18 and under. And we played at a pedestrian tempo. It was like a training game. We've lost to a last-second penalty. It wasn't good enough, was it? It was not that this running to adversity that Mark Ashton keeps talking about, which I don't like. I feel like it's a bit of a soundbite. I'm sure the players probably having a little chuckle when they get together.
When they change that, Matt, at the minute.
Yeah, running towards
the mediocrity at the minute, that is.
Yeah. Certainly, I would play them what Colin said, because that was a really great speech he said on Monday, and we did not see any of that against West Ham under 21s. Okay. West Ham team.
Can you believe that was still this week, that Monday show? It seems like it was.
Yeah, I know it does. Yeah. It's been a very long week.
Yeah, it has. Lewis Robinson, Steve Coulson said players want to commemorate PC's father, but PC replied, "Just get 3 points Saturday." Yeah. You've heard Matt. You've heard me, Crunch. You're a man of passion and love for the town. What would you say to those players at 1 minute to 3 tomorrow?
Well, it worried me Saturday when I think it was the 4th goal went in. They would just put their heads down, shuffled their feet, and then went back to the halfway line without saying anything.
Yeah.
I don't see at the minute, there's no leaders, is there, in this team? They're all probably doing their own job, some of them poorly.
Individually, yeah. Yeah,
they're individuals at the minute. And tomorrow we just need to stick together. It's going to be, at times it's going to be probably tough, Lincoln will probably have the ball. We're going to be under pressure, but we just really need, they need to find him within themselves, don't they? We got to dig in. We got to dig in tomorrow. We ain't started well. It all needs to start somewhere, even if it's a scrappy 1-0 victory. You know, no one's going to remember that at the end of the season.
No, exactly. Yeah, get 3 points.
You
know, what the worst thing was about Tuesday, Rich, was when West Ham got that penalty. Oxaflex, whatever his name was, they celebrated down near where I'd sit in the pioneer. One of the lads was doing this to the stand.
Who was doing that to? Was it?
To our fans. That's taking the piss.
Did you see what the crowd was the other? It was rather apt what the crowd was, wasn't it?
I saw it. Was that real? 4, 2, 3, 1.
I don't know. Was someone on a wind-up?
Unbelievable if it is.
They shouldn't need much of it. Martin, they shouldn't need a rousing speech tomorrow, you know. Like I said, they'll be warming up there. They'll see a packed away end, you know. We got 1,800. West Burns was playing at fucking Fleetwood last season in front of about, how many they take away? 200 fans?
That's maybe why he thinks he can still win the league.
Just get out there at 3 o'clock, roll up your sleeves and just give it your all. If we lose, giving it our all, I think we can all handle that.
No one's got an issue with that.
Last Saturday is when they put the white flag up and we had to sit through I know everyone didn't stay, a lot of people left. We had to sit through 35 minutes of going through the motions, didn't we?
Yeah. It's not good enough, that is it. Yeah, I don't think anyone would complain if they really gave it a good go, you know, lost 2-1 in the final seconds, whatever it might be. I don't want to be self-prophesizing, whatever it might be. But it's the manner of the defeats, the stupid mistakes for players that have played at a really high level or have dropped down from the Championship to League One and they're on decent wedge, making really stupid mistakes that you might see at Sawston on a Saturday morning, Reg. It's like crazy. It's crazy.
It is. Although I'm concerned about the money we've spent, and Rich is still saying lack of leaders and characters. Like I could probably be sitting in this chair saying "Welcome to Talking Town" in the year 2063, and Ipswich Town is still lacking leaders and characters.
But does that come because it's a new team, or I would have thought you're a natural leader wherever you are, whatever team you play for. It's like Lee Evans, not a captain in a million years, is he?
He's not, but we've said this on one of the Sunday shows, I think. The fact that he keeps making mistakes is because he keeps making himself front and centre of everything that's going on. It's a fair play to him for that, for standing up. But when you're so heavily involved, you are going to make errors. And that's where Harper hasn't helped him, I don't think, because Harper drifts out of the game. So maybe he's over-trying. Suddenly he's mishit a back pass. We've shodden on the ball and they've scored from it. It's because he's not getting the assistance. I
tell you want to see you have a big performance tomorrow, Matt, is Burgess. I don't know what you thought of his performance against Bolton. I thought he got absolutely schooled by Owen Doyle. I was really disappointed because he come quite a big fanfare from Atkinson. I think he was top of the aerial duels.
Yeah.
What I've seen so far, I'm thinking we paid quite a lot of money for you, mate. You need to step up.
Again, he wasn't helped, Rich, because as Martin said, you know, they stuck Edmondson in without any real pre-season, a baptism of fire. He's not played at Portman previously. Didn't help either player that particularly. Didn't give a good first impression for Edmondson. It didn't help Burgess because he had no partnership with him in a match situation in front of 20,000 people.
He's like, what's his nickname? The Fridge, isn't it?
That's what Martin calls me anyway. Yeah.
He's like when you come down in the morning and your fridge has fucking turned itself off at night and it's fucking leaking water everywhere. You think, oh, bollocks.
Edmondson should have played. Edmondson and Burgess should have played in that West Ham game.
I can understand why Edmondson didn't, because obviously he's struggling. But where's he going to learn? Where's he going to get fit?
Exactly. He'll be knackered again tomorrow if he plays tomorrow. Unless you stick Wolfie in.
I like that analogy. Particularly after you've been at Iceland's and bought your freezer full of stuff, and then you go down the next morning and the fucking things are all over the place. It's like, shite, that's 60 quid I'm not going to get back, is it? Ben Moore,
in Iceland's, you've done well.
Hit the walls while I opened Fix the Iceland's. There you go. I opened. Yeah, I opened.
Like a ribbon and the scissors.
Yep, I'm in the paper cutting the ribbon. Yeah, there I am.
God, you are a celebrity, aren't you?
Yeah, I was like 8 years of age. I was like 8 years of age. They did this competition where if the first person through the door won a giant family-sized freezer and the contents of it as well. So you could win the freezer and then they would fill it up to the brim. So my dad
who knows in the comments what Iceland was called before it was called Iceland? Can you remember? Can you remember? Rich? You're similar age to me.
So my dad camped out all night. I walked down the next morning and I opened it up.
What was it called?
It was called B Jams. And then that was what it was called in like the 70s and the 80s.
Oh,
We had, get this, in the Chelmsford Asda, which is over in the Springfield area of Chelmsford, we had Kenny Dalglish came down all the way from Liverpool to open it in like 1980. Random. Another random.
You had Kenny Dalglish, Felixstowe had.
Yeah. Lewis has got it. Look, B-Jams, he's got it. Yeah, B-Jams.
Monty switched the freeze officer to the toaster. Carl's too young for the question, Matt. Right, on to formations for tomorrow. We've got a couple of ITFC team suggestions from the Talking Town community. First of all, we've got Lewis on Twitter, Lewis Robertson. He wants to go with this. It looks like a 3-5-2 to me. Burgess, Edmondson, Wolfenden, Burns, and Coulson are the wing backs. Carroll and Evans, Chaplin, Bon, and Pigger. If a 3-5-2 was to happen, Matt, would this be your 3-5-2?
Yeah, I like it. I've been doing a lot of reading. My all-time favourite player is Johan Cruyff, and he's one of these rarities, isn't he? That he was an absolute top-notch player and a really good manager. He liked playing this kind of formation. He actually preferred 3-4-3. He liked anything where you could form triangles on the pitch, and I think that's a nice formation. And also, I like the fact that you've got Bon and Piggott together. I thought that they would really complement each other, and Chaplin just behind.
Okay.
Whether or not you see that, I don't know.
We've got the prediction connoisseur Dean with his prediction here. We've got Selena behind Bon with Edwards and Burns, Carroll and Evans, Coulson, Burgess, Emerson, Donatian, Walton. So we'll go with Carroll and Evans there for you, Rich. Midfield two of Carroll and Evans. If it was to be a 4-2-3-1 and not a 4-3-3, because that will come a bit later on, would you go with Carroll and Evans, or would you go with Carroll and Harper, or Harper?
I'll probably go Carroll and Evans. I know I was a bit disappointed with him the other night. Right, and I thought for a player who's played nearly 100 Premier League games, he didn't really stamp his authority on that game, did he? I think he gave the ball away cheaply a few times. But I do agree with what Matt said. It was like there was no intensity in that game. It was just like a reserve game, wasn't it, going through the motions. Even Luke Iron said that, didn't he, on the commentary second half? You know, you've got to pick up the tempo.
If that wasn't bad enough, Rich, the bloody eye-follow went down. We were in that loop, weren't we, with the goal kick or the free kick by the corner flag.
Flashback. Jesus.
I mean, never rains the applause.
I see someone on Twitter had had a bit of a whinge, I think, with the EFL, and they give him a £2 refund.
Yeah, Carl Day. Carl Day got £2 back.
What?
£2. The sooner we ditch that and we have our own commentary team that isn't the radio, leave Brenner for the radio and the BBC stuff with Mick Mills, and have their own commentary team over the pictures.
Who was you said you were watching West Brom? Who did they have?
Oh, right. So after the game, I switched over, and West Brom and Red Button against Derby had BBC West Midlands, and it was their normal commentator. And Andy Johnson was the co-commentator, West Brom legend. I'm sure Chris from West Brom would tell us all about him. He was going crazy. Get a ball forward. Get the people up there. We've got to win this game. It was like the place for the commentary. You know, that's it. BBC stuff is quite reserved, isn't it? This was anything but. I would prefer to see iFollow with actual TV commentary, so Brendan hasn't got to fill the space all the time. He can just leave that for radio.
I'm not agreeing with Colin there about Bond for captain. No.
Okay.
Let him play his football. Let him score goals.
I'm going to ask you this one, Matt, because we don't want any controversy. This is the Fisherman's 4-4-2 back to basics.
Very conservative, yeah.
Yeah, he's got Walton, the Don, I think it means the Nassian, Edmondson, Burgess, Coulson, Edwards, Evans, Fraser, Burns, Bon, and Pigott.
Hang on.
What?
He said James Norwood was the top striker. Why has he not got him in?
Well, see, this is what I meant. This is what I was trying to avoid with not asking you the questions here. Because
why have you got? Where's Norwood?
Not taking this show down. So, Matt, what do you make of the Fisherman's 11?
That's a great formation. Not bad. I don't see Fraser as being in a middle two. I think you probably have to have Carroll in there. And so you've got Evans doing your donkey work, the grit work.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Look, Carroll comes with a reputation of being a technical player. He's a bit of a Johnny Williams. I'm told by people that saw him come through the ranks at Spurs, he's a bit of a wet lettuce. You know, he's not going to put a tackle in. He's a technical player. He's going to find a bit like Dazelle, how we wanted Dazelle to be. He's going to split channels and that kind of thing, split the lines. So Evans does your donkey work, and he gives the ball. You give the ball to Carroll. And then you've got the two on the side, yeah. I mean, not bad. Whether or not we'll see that, I don't know. But I do like Bon and Pigott together. I mean, how would you not? There's a lot of goals there.
Yeah, well, they should be because Piggott obviously had a great year last year for AFC Wimbledon. Now, Mike is a man of the people. We love Mike here at TT Towers, and he understands that the people love his Christmas tree formations and his wacky tactical genius. So here, Rich, for you.
Hang on.
What?
Actually, I spoke to someone in the week. I'm going to give Mike a massive shout out here. I wasn't going to do it, but I spoke to someone in the week, and someone who played under Mike Brown said he is a great coach.
Great. Does that?
But Mike Brown did say this morning, "Let me get to the training ground. I'll sort them out." He said.
Mike brings a lot of passion to the show. That doesn't surprise me at all.
A lot of knowledge. Put some respect on that name. But he's got a formation, Christmas tree formation, just for the guys and girls at home and for you, Richard Moss. Bon, Edwards and Fraser behind, Carroll, Evans and Burns, Coulson, Burgess, Edmondson, Antonasian and Wilson. I asked him to put the fullbacks further forward, but he refused. He said that was a Christmas tree and that's, what he's sticking with. But what do you think of that one then? Where's Burns tucked in as a central midfielder?
Yeah, I'd have Harper in there in the 3. I've gone 4-3-3 tomorrow for my lineup.
You have. I've got yours here, actually, despite it being all over Twitter for the last 24 hours. Here is yours. You're not playing with a striker. Brave.
Well, I am.
It's my turn, Mike. It's my turn. Yeah, he's not playing. He's got all Spanish on his mat. Yeah. He's not playing with the striker.
I thought it was the Finalist League, the Spanish league.
I'm only playing a Luco if Edwards isn't fit.
Did Luco really, when you watched it in real time last week, did Luco really have that good a game?
I thought he was all right, but a lot of ball he got second half, Matt, was when it was 5-2 and they were just sitting deep and he was looking great, spraying the ball about. But I thought he was an improvement on Newport.
Yeah, he found He found blue shirts, didn't he? There was nothing in there that he did that made you think we're going to get back in this game, was there? No. He just found a blue shirt, which should be the easiest thing in the world as a professional footballer, surely.
I had a saying last year, didn't I? Bristol stall chart. We're comparing 5-4 or 3-2 here. Yeah. Like Sonny Aluko or Shawnee Aluko, as Matt would like him known as. He was better.
Yeah, good.
But he still, he wasn't.
Yeah, all right. What was he like? A 6 out of 10, a 7 out of 10?
On the day, probably a 6. But that was our best player on the day.
Yeah.
And it was a bad day. So, but I'd like to see him build on it for sure if he gets a chance tomorrow. Okay. It's about consistency now, isn't it? Building on that as he gets more match fit.
These players need to realise that we're getting down shit street at the moment because there can't be that many games left for Cookie. And we've got 2 really tough games. Well, we've got a tough game tomorrow and then we've got Sheffield Wednesday at home. Now, we all thought we'd get off to a slow start. I said it on here. Rich, I don't know if you said it, Rich, but I remember Chris from West Brom said so. Chris messaged me yesterday and said, I thought you'd get off to a slow start, but you're taking the piss. You're third from bottom in the league. A slow start's mid-table, looking to get into the top 6. You're
entering negativity. I like to call it a factual argument here. Let's back off the list.
I enjoyed that show last night. Kindred spirits. I enjoyed that.
Callie says I'm fair.
I enjoyed the WhatsApp chat we had today because Martin hates audio messages, everyone, and he sent me about 5. He was shouting at me. I was on the naughty step. I had to apologise. What did you call me?
Depends which one you got.
He called me, you've gone from bedsheet to happy clapper, he called me.
There was others that were sent elsewhere that you were called other things. So I was unsure which ones you'd been sent. Callie, unfair to expect Luco to make the difference when other 10 players were shit. He's a good player, and I said before he will surprise people.
What's that? Colin says Gov can have a Hoppy Robson while driving, as long as we don't hit any bumps.
Or roll Bill. That's nonsense. Anyway,
they've got to step up. They have to step up starting tomorrow because there's not an infinite amount of games left for everybody, is there?
That gap gets small for Cook, doesn't it? We know now. The gaps. He's not got a lot of leeway.
Every game you don't get out 3 points, it narrows. Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, I'm not doing this conversation again. But I will say this though: if you wrote down your wingers at the football club, if Sonny Aluko plays more than a handful of games, it's kind of a bad situation because there should be more better players ahead of him. Edwards, Selena, Burns. That's 3 straight away.
I think you said it. You said it probably in at the start of the season, Ryan. Aluko would have been like the marquee signing under Evans and Lambert.
He would have been. I've got a formation here from Ben Moore to round off the show. He's got Donashian and Wolfenden on the right side of the fence, Burgess and Coulson, Evans and Carroll, Burns, Fraser, Aluko and Macaulay, Bon up front. How do we rate that one then, boys, as we close up today's show?
Actually, that's probably the team I would go with. I think that's the team you'll see tomorrow. And if Selena's available, he'll come off the bench. And if Edwards is available, he'll come off the bench.
Well, you say that, but you actually want John Nolan. So quickly, talk us through your thinking there behind the Ginger Perlo.
Yeah. The Ginger Perlo. Look, Nolan does score goals. Does seem to pop up and whatever you think of him, he does pop up and score goals. He's got championship experience as well.
He scored against Arsenal under 12s in that game, man.
Fuck me, you're scraping the barrel of an argument there, and you're the championship experience line. So is Caden Jackson.
Well, he has. Well, yeah, exactly. All right, I get that. But he also scored goals in the championship, and he was finding his feet in the championship. He got that really good header at West Brom until he got injured. Right. I just feel like we need someone who can. At the moment, we don't look in the middle. We don't look like scoring. Harper and Evans don't look like scoring. So I feel like we need someone in the middle that could maybe arrive on the edge of the box from a free kick.
I don't disagree with that there, because I know we've scored 10 goals in the league, but a lot of them are individual goals. We go spells in games where we don't really look like threatening, don't we? Like the other night, that game against West Ham, their goalkeeper, he had a clean kit, didn't he?
20 years old, that guy. The goal that no one ever remembers about Nolan was at St Andrews. Remember we went 2-up and drew to all? He got that goal, that beauty from the edge of the box.
Yeah, I was at that game, thinking we're finally going to win. Finally going to win under Hurst.
That's what we're missing in this midfield right now. Someone that can stroke the ball home in the middle too from the edge of the box. It's just an idea. It's a
bad idea, but it is an idea. Let's be honest. No, I'm not having John Nolan. No. What is a John Nolan? What is a John Nolan? No one's ever
we did used to say, where does he play? But I mean, yeah, that's also an argument. But the fact I feel like, he could, while waiting for Morsey, he could provide maybe that little bit of grit in there for us.
Edmondson,
hang on. Rewind. Grit. He can't fucking tackle.
Did you see him at Lincoln last season?
That was not a tackle. That was a petulant little.
That was a.
It's in there.
That was a coward's tackle. That was.
Unleash it. Release it.
You normally see those sort of red cards in the under 12s league. Look, Edmondson, you can forgive throwing straight back in there. John Nolan's inclusion tomorrow would be a Dean Gherkin, Bartos, Bellicowski situation under Hurst, where you turn up to Derby Day and you suddenly got the goalie changed.
We're desperate.
Yeah, but is Cook desperate?
Yeah, probably.
There's desperate and there's desperate. There's literally desperate and there's desperate.
He's not really seen. Nolan's not actually played under Cook, has he? He's been out injured the whole time.
Always a better player though, Matt, when you're injured.
Listen, John Nolan myths, mate. We could write a book on these. He has a bit of bite. When has John Nolan ever tackled it? What?
Listen, we've got to do something different. If you keep doing, like Einstein said, if you keep doing the same thing over and expecting the same results, it's definition of madness. We need some kind of curveball in there tomorrow to change it up. That's my curveball for you right now.
I'm writing down the idea John Nolan myth book. John Nolan myth book. Because I reckon it could be a multiple page bestseller. I really do. New York Times would absolutely buy it. John Nolan myth book.
Something has to change. You've had 6 games, nothing's changed. You've had Evans and Harper over and over and over. They've been rubbish together.
Do you remember number 1 in Star Trek with Picard? Number 1. I can't remember his name. I think it's Jonathan Stewart. Is it Jonathan Stewart?
Don't watch Star Trek.
Right. He did a paranormal YouTube or general series where he says, but it was fake. But it was fake. I'm going to get the montage of him saying, but it was fake. And I run it every time someone talks about John Nolan.
Daniel Hill's got you right. Because he says you've got the list of Jericho. You just made the list.
I love it. Right, we are back tomorrow live from. Is it the LNR? Is it the?
Have you been there before, you two? Have you been there before?
Yeah, I've been there twice.
Yeah,
Jonathan Fraser.
I've been there a couple of times. Nice cathedral on the hill. It's nice.
I went to the cathedral. Castle. Was it Castle? Went there once. I think it's a castle, isn't it, on the hill? Where
are you broadcasting from tomorrow then, just outside the ground?
We are Richard Moss. Please do tell the people.
To the Lincoln Fan Village. I see it pops up on their Twitter. It looks quite good, doesn't it? Apart from what does it say in that second photo, Martin? What did someone say?
Well, it's quite funny because Rich sent through the link, and it was a couple of photos of the University of Fan Village being open, and the second photo
looks an upgrade on the fan zone at town. To be quite honest,
the second photo is a grey overcast day, and there's people not smiling, and someone's written, "What a great selling advert! A grey overcast day with very unhappy people. Sounds like a great time."
Perfect for Ipswich fans right now, isn't it? Very unhappy people. It's all a bit grey. Yeah.
We'll be there. We'll brighten it up. We'll be there. Live show from 1:50 onwards, give or take. So if you're not going, join us. We'll bring you to the game from wherever you are. Matt's not going because he's a paper fan, so he'll be joining us from wherever he is. Absolutely. But we'll be there. We can't wait. Hopefully going to win. Score prediction as we lead up then, please, gentlemen.
God, you're Rich. You go first.
It made me laugh last night because Vicky was like not having it, and then you had Tux and you had Alex on, and they'd won a round. So I'm gonna go 2-1 Town.
Okay, yeah. Tux and Alex did win Vicky round. She was not going to win tomorrow. Not going to win tomorrow. Tomorrow will be 2-1. Matt,
my head says we'll probably get beaten. I've not seen any. Look, we're coming off the back of a 5-2 home defeat to Bolton and a 2-1 defeat to bloody West Ham Kids. So why we should predict a victory, I don't know. But I don't know. I just hope maybe we get a last-minute equaliser to take a point. That'd be a good point. And there's a little bit of motivation. They're going to Sheffield Wednesday that we clawed back a loss into a draw.
Okay. All right. Well, that is the Cruncher. That is the Media Mogul. This is a Talk in Town show. An FCA finalist 2021. We'll be live tomorrow from Lincoln.
How many likes have we got?
I don't know is the answer. But if you've not yet liked it, do please give this video a like on whatever platform you're watching. 59 likes on YouTube. Keep your eyes on social media for all of our opinions tomorrow. But hopefully, the next time this finalist platform talks to you, we'll have seen a few more of these.